So, you want a really compact way of doing logic for an elevator. Well, I'm going to show you how to do 8 floors. It's a little excessive, but it should work fine. First things first, we're going to place down our buttons. If I can place buttons down properly. Then we're going to convert this into binary, so we're going to place down 3 logic gates. We're going to have 1 extra logic gate on the side. Then we're going to add 3 along here, 2 more here. We're going to grab our self-wired XOR gates right here, and we're going to just plug them in right there. And we'll need a way of resetting each of these XOR gates, so we're going to add 2 sets per. And that is the entirety of your logic. This will do 8 floors of logic for you. So it's definitely not too bad at all. First thing we're going to do is we're going to convert this decimal input into binary. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put all of these to OR. We're going to have this one, then both. Then we're going to do this one, that one, this one, and that one. Then we're going to do all of them. Then we need our reset, so we're going to do this into there. We're also going to have this one on OR, and we're going to plug all of these into this one here. So it's going to look like a mess, but I can assure you it will work perfectly fine. I'm going to have a NOR gate here. We're going to plug in this into there. We're also going to plug in these into that as well. We're also going to plug in those into there, this into those, and then this into those. And essentially what that bit of logic did right there is it's a 1-tick pulse generator for 3 different inputs. So yeah, if I had one button going to each, I could just do NOR AND, but since we have multiple different buttons going into all of these, it's easier just to have an OR gate, that all going into one NOR, and then our AND gate. Inversely, if you wanted to, if you're only using 3 different inputs, right? Actually, we'll do it this way. If you wanted to create 1-tick pulses for all these, right? You'd have this one being NOR, you'd hook this up into all of these, and this into those, right? And then each one of those will create a 1-tick pulse. So that's just a really easy way of making a 1-tick pulse generator nice and compact. But again, since we're using multiple inputs, except for this first one here, well, actually it does have multiple inputs, never mind. So that will go into these, that will toggle these ones off based off the binary inputted, or decimal inputted into binary, and it converts into this, right? Well, blah, 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 no one cares. Then we're going to go from this gate right here, and we're going to plug this into all of these. We're going to also plug this OR gate into all of these as well. Then we're going to have that go into those. This go into, oh gosh, give me a second here. Yeah, you'll see a little bit of a shift there, but I was just double checking to make sure I was showing you guys the right thing. And these are essentially reset circuits. I'm also going to set these to NOR, because these will generate 1-tick pulses whenever these ones are enabled, just like I showed you with the buttons over there. And this should be essentially it. So now all you'd have to do is reorganize the buttons so they all go in the right order. I did a little bit of an example one over here to show you how it works with 4 buttons. So we'd have all of them off, first level 1, first level 2, and then level 3, and then reset. So you can go to any floor you want. Here, let me just move this out of the way. But yeah, you can go to any floor you want. Actually, let me just weld this up here so you guys can see this a little bit better. Maybe a little bit higher should do. There we go. But yeah. It's nice though, because you can have a decimal input and have multiple different outputs based off of just hooking either the XOR gates if you want it to be opposite, or you can hook these NOR gates if you want it to be, you know, whatever's active, and you just hook that up into just, you know, one piston per memory bit. It's like this one we have a distance of 4, this one we have a distance of 2. Just because, you know, we have our 2, then our 4, right? So we have 4 total bits here. So we want it to be worth the opposite, essentially. But yeah, and then that would work the same for this. So you'd hook in, since we have 3 bits, you would have 3 stacked pistons. Obviously, if you want further distance, right, and you don't want to be limited to, you know, your 8, and then your 4, and then your 2, I'm going to put these on higher speed, right? Just in case you didn't want to be limited to only 8, you can just, you know, stack up 2 on top of each other. So you could just make, you know, this one 8, this one 8, this one 8, and then have your, because then you'd have 16, and then you'd have 8, and then you'd have your last one up there. So I'm actually going to do this one. Say if we want to have our further distance, we'll do 14, 14, and 7. Actually, this one should be 14 as well. Then our last one will be 7. There we go. So we'd have our bottom one going into there, we'd have this one going into there, and then our last one, since it's worth double of that one, would be going into those. And then this would be if each floor was 8 tall, right? Here, let me just reset. Would be, that'd be that one there. There we go. This one would actually have to be -2, I believe. No, because our starting floor would just be higher. That's all. Yeah, so our starting floor would be here. On my elevators, I like to have this coming from the ceiling instead of from the floor. But I do find this is really simple logic. Simple in quotations. And another nice thing about this is since it's done with OR gates, you can have multiple inputs. So you could just hook up 16, right? You can have one on the elevator itself and then one on each of the ground floors. So that also works quite nicely. I can show you the old way I used to do this, but I do find this logic a lot easier because, well, what, 18 logic gates for 8 floors? I'd say that's pretty good compared to something like this, where you'd have 12 logic gates for 4 floors. Then if you want to do 8 floors, well, you'd need 7 by 4, which would be 28. So this one would use about 10 more logic gates for the same amount that this one does. I do believe once you get above 6 floors, it's better to do this method. But if you're doing less than 6 floors, it'd be easier just to use self-resetting XOR gates. So these are just, they're essentially NOR OR logic, but they self-reset. So you can input one-tick pulses into them. So this one's quite simple as well, but I don't know. Again, you can have multiple inputs going into them, so yeah, it's kind of nice that way. But if you guys liked the video, hit that like button. If you disliked it, why are you still watching? There's so many YouTubers that do this kind of stuff better, and I'll show you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Also, if you guys want to learn how to do the self-resetting XOR gates, just let me know in the comments down below. And again, same as last video, if there's any logic you want to see that's simple or not, just let me know. Whether it be binary calculation, timers, clocks, whatever you want, just let me know and I'll do a video on it. As long as it's not a full-blown computer with RAM, because I feel like that's BS in scrap mechanic, it's completely pointless. I'll show you guys pretty much anything you guys need to know. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.